surplus because it had no home.
That's right. That's right, Ms. Rich. This is Ricardo Wood speaking. You did not put it into the general fund because that is not allowed.
Right.
And so that's why we have it on the council agenda. It can only be done in conjunction with recommendation from the mayor, and then concurrence by the council. So you're absolutely correct. You did not do that.
Right, because then it would require a budget amendment, and we're not doing that. We're using surplus funds because we're not changing anything with it or amending the initial budget back from October. So it really should be that it's unassigned balance in the surplus fund, not general fund. General fund is approved and part of the overall budget.
No. That's not correct. And I hate for the confusion. So somebody's probably given us bad information if they told you that. But let me tell you what it actually is. It actually is in the general fund. It's a surplus, which does not require an amendment. What it requires is that the mayor put it before you, as he's doing with the council, and that the council vote on it. It can only be done with concurrence. So it is general fund, as you said correctly, and it is being put before the council so that it can be done properly.
Mr. Woods.
Were these monies put into the general operating budget?
No.
I get that. That's what I'm trying to say. I understand that. I think we're on the same page, but it's not out of the general fund.
No. Sorry.
That would require a budget amendment.
Listen.
I agree with you. It doesn't require the budget amendment, but it's not coming out of the general fund. It's coming out of surplus.
No. Listen, we're saying three different things. It is coming out of the general fund. It is coming out of surplus, but it's not coming out of operating. So there's a difference between everything that is in the operating fund on the general side is in the general fund. Okay, but everything that's in surplus general is also general. I know it's nuanced, but I want to make sure that everybody understands exactly what we're saying and what we're not saying. So it is in the general fund surplus. It was not in operating, which is why we're before the council. So you're correct in saying it was not in operating, but you're not correct in saying it's not in general.
Then how do you separate what is surplus over what is general?
That's a more nuanced conversation, but it is a matter of when you all vote on the budget for general operating, that is lined up. Surplus is a different story.
So, Mr. President.
When you use surplus money at the top of a budget year, when you use surplus money at the top of a budget year, it requires another public hearing because it's not something that was put into the fund base. But I understand, I think we're all working towards making this happen. I just want to be able to explain it correctly. And that's the problem with this right now. And again, if you're saying it's a general fund, but it's surplus and it's still there and doesn't require an amendment. Okay. I never thought it required an amendment, but I thought there was a line item that just spoke to surplus funding that the city had. And
Mr. Richardson, then Ms. Gregory.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, the ZIRBAC requires the mayor to submit to this council a proposed budget. And I believe when we get down to the bottom line of what Bess is saying, what we're voting on now was not in that budget. What we're voting on was not in that budget. So it's possible during the budget year that you end up with more money than what you expected. That's a surplus. But in the next year, unless you program that money back into the budget, it's got to be put somewhere as surplus. because we're not, we're only voting during the budget cycle, we're only voting on what's in the budget. We're not voting on any money that's anywhere else. We were voting on what the mayor proposed. And I don't believe what we voted on today was in the budget when we voted on the mayor's 2020-2021 budget. I don't remember seeing it in the budget.
Ms. Gregor?
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. You know, like Beth said, I think we're all on the same page. It's just a lot of nuance and just wording. But from what I understand, most of this, if not all, is just underruns from other projects from previous years. And so if that's the case, then doesn't that money just go back into the general fund, and that's why we're able to use this?
Oh, no, that's not true. That's not how we got the money.
I don't know. Is there, Ricardo, if you're still on, or anybody?
If you would restate that question, Councilwoman Gregory.
No, something that I was thinking and had seen some information on was that some of these funds, if not all of it, are effectively just underruns from other projects from previous years that go into obviously what would be a surplus. And of course, then that money just goes back into the general fund.
That happens on
Well,
capital, but typically not on general.
Not on projects, maybe just general fund, yeah.
Right. That typically doesn't happen. So I'm more than happy to answer any of you all's questions just about the general makeup of this, but we're doing what's required by the act by putting it before the council.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yes, Mr. President.
Mr. Vice President?
Yeah, first I'd like to thank the mayor and also his administrations for putting this well-needed item on our agenda before us on today. Thank you so much. I do have a statement, and if I'm wrong, I would like the administration to correct me. But during our break, I had a message asking, have the lights been approved and when it's going to be shining? And my response back to them is that, this was before us today is a transfer. So just want to make sure that, the citizens know this is not the actually contract company to go ahead and start the lights, put up the lights on tomorrow. This is actually a transfer of money from, from the general funds to this account here. And also from my understanding that the contract may be before council in 3 weeks. And so if the council approve a contract in say in a month's time, maybe in the middle of June before we start seeing lights being put up. And if I'm wrong, I would like for the administration to correct me. But this is the information that I had given a citizen between pre-council and council meeting today. And again, just want to clarify to the citizens, we will not be seeing lights put up tomorrow. This is just a transfer of money from one account to another account, and lines of, going ahead and try to get some bids on putting the lights up. And then once the administration get the bids, they will bring us the best bid to us, to the council, and therefore we can vote on it. And then after we vote on it and it passes, then the administration will go ahead and authorize the contract to the winner, and then they'll go ahead and proceed with the lights. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir, Mr. Vice President. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Call for public hearings, 41297, call for public hearing to rezone property located at 2100 North University Boulevard, east side of North University Boulevard, at the east terminus of Mickey Drive and the east terminus of LeBaron Drive South, from R1 to B1, scheduled May 18th.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Mr. President, I'm out. I'll
Announcement.
see y'all later. I got
Uh,
nothing. I'm gonna see y'all.
Ms. Rich?
All right, John.
Okay, thank you very much. If I could request a statement from either our finance department on exactly what funds went for the lights. I'm all in. They need to be repaired, fixed, or replaced, whatever it takes. And looking forward to those contracts coming to council. It's a big safety issue. But just an understanding exactly how the administration viewed that movement of money so that I could also let my constituents know exactly what transpired with that $2 million. And again, that's an excellent thing. And I just want to remind people that there's a food truck event up at Medal of Honor this afternoon actually starts at 4 and runs till 9. It's with the Parks and Recreation Department. So come on out and be part of that fun. And also there is a COVID vaccination center set up at the Connie Hudson Senior Center. It goes from 1 to 4. I learned about it yesterday. I did send out an email to people who get the newsletter in District 6, but if anyone else wants to promote that, that would be great. Again, that's 1 to 4 at the Connie Hudson Senior Center for anyone interested in getting a COVID shot. And I understand there's no appointment and it's for anyone 16 and older who wishes to be vaccinated. So again, and I thank USA Health for organizing that and looking forward to people responding affirmative and getting up there and presenting themselves if it's something they see fit to do. And again, thank you and enjoy this nice weather.
Thank you. Mr. Richardson?
Okay. I would like to say that the mayor announced, and I would like to reiterate that there will be a cleanup at Tricentennial Park this Saturday, starting at 8 and going to 11. And I'm inviting all the citizens in District 1 to come out and participate in this great cleanup. The splash pad, there's a new splash pad being installed at the Tricentennial Park. They're laying the flooring down now, and they expect to have this new splash pad up and running by summer when it's time to open up the parks for splash pads. This park will be ready. While we were in a meeting, a fire truck rolled up in front of my house, and I got concerned. And it parked, and the farmers got out. And I know I didn't smell any smoke here. So what they did is a fire hydrant in front of my house.
Oh, yeah.
They got out and their goal was to make sure it was water coming out of the fire. So they got out and cut it on water, went everywhere, then they cut it back off and left. And I just want the citizens in Linwood to know that the fire hydrant in Linwood is working in case there is a fire. They just came by to check on it. And that's it, Mr. President.
Mr. Daves?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just like to remind everybody that we do have a Finance Committee meeting a week from today at 1 o'clock. Yes, 1 o'clock. And Madam Clerk, I assume that will be in the room you're currently in right now, the City Council Conference Room, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's to discuss the progress that's been made with respect to directing city contracts to economically and socially disadvantaged businesses in the city of Mobile, and also to get an update on the federal relief that's been provided to the city of Mobile as a result of the COVID crisis, and what maybe if there's been any update as to the rules on how that might be spent, and if we could get Ms. McAvoy to put out a notice about that. I'm not sure we've had one put out, but even if we have, we probably need to get another one out. And so that's a week from today at 1 o'clock in the council conference room. Thank you, sir.
And Mr. Daves, social distancing will be observed in this room. So
Okay.
just want to put that out there.
And make Ms. McAvoy, if you could make sure that notice goes to both the, needs to go to the city's finance director, Mr. Holt. And I think on the socially disadvantaged businesses, we need Ms. Kidd. And I think we had asked Mr. Woods, the city attorney, also to attend that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. President. This past weekend, the administration had planned a cleanup at Bar Harbor Park, Randall Park, which is also known as Duval Street Park. And because of the weather, they canceled it and moved to May the 15th, which I was planning on doing a second big Maysville and North DIP cleanup. So with the two of us together, it should be a great success on Saturday, May the 15th, from 8:30 to 11:30. And I'd like to thank the administration for choosing that day and time also but we can all just work on one accord and work together. Again, on Saturday, May the 15th, from 8:30 to 11:30 should be a great time. On last week, I did announce this. And I did had a couple of people to call and to say that they would like to volunteer. But again, we also looking for volunteers for May the 15th, which is Saturday, and from 8:30 to 11:30, and to pretty much to meet at the Bar Harbor Randall's Park, which is located on Duval Street, also known as Duval Park. And again, I'm not just inviting just the Maysville area, but also the North DIP area also. On next Tuesday, I'll have some exciting news for the citizens of District 3. So please keep your ears open for some great and exciting news on next Tuesday during council meeting. And also just want to remind not only the citizens of District 3, but the citizens throughout the city of Mobile, because I have been receiving some phone calls from citizens outside of District 3 regarding the different city issues. And again, many people think that the city council can just snap their fingers and get things done, but that's not true. We have to go through a process also. I had a citizen to reach out to me this past weekend and stated that they had called 311 about a particular issue and expect for it to be done within 2 days. And they called me this weekend, and I was saying, unfortunately, government don't move that fast. And I'm just advising all citizens, especially if you're experiencing overgrown grass, because we know April showers bring May flowers along with, overgrown grass and weeds. That grass is growing. And therefore, I have a house that is a rental house not too far from me, and pretty much I thought that the tenants was going to cut their grass like they do every 2 weeks, and 3 weeks went by and found out that the tenants had moved. And after I found out the tenants had moved out of their house, of course they haven't cut their grass within 2 weeks, and now grass is high. So therefore, grass is high. I called 311 and reporting it, and I know it's going to be at least probably 4 to 6 weeks before it may be before the council, because the city had to go through this necessary process of doing the due diligence. And I do know they're on top of it, because I saw a car came by yesterday and looked at the property, and I figured that's what it was. But again, if you see grass growing, weeds growing in your community, go ahead and dial 311. Don't think that someone else had reported it. Just go ahead and just dial 311 and just go ahead and report it. And again, the quicker that you report city issues, the quicker that the city can get on top of it and address those situations. Again, it don't happen by the snap of a finger. The city have to go through a process. And again, that's any city issue that you have, please dial 311. If you cannot dial 311, especially from your cell phone, please dial 251-208-5311 and report the issue. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Ms. Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had talked about the trash schedule and the problem that we were having in getting new trucks and other equipment ordered. And I had mentioned that I had received a phone call from one of my residents today, just asking about what they should continue doing because, you know, the trash was behind. I got a phone call during the meeting saying that the crews had been there this morning and picked it up. So she wanted to be sure to let me know that they had been by the neighborhood to pick up the trash. But of course, as you heard earlier, we are behind. So if you do have trash on your curb and you have missed the pickup because of the issues with weather and equipment and that sort of thing, as Colonel DeLapp and the mayor mentioned earlier, just go ahead, you know, keep it out there. The crews will get to you, and just we appreciate all of your patience. But I had to let you know that the person who called me this morning was calling back to say, hey, they came by the house this morning. So that was great to hear. And like Mr. Richardson, I too saw the fire truck come by and they got out right across the street from my house. Mr. Richardson, you and I live in a good location apparently because we've got the fire hydrants right next to our homes. But they were checking the water pressure too. So it was great to see them out doing that, just, you know, making sure that if something happens, we've got all the water pressure that we need to put out a house fire. A couple of other things going on in the district tomorrow at 1:30. We will hold a news conference in Langen Park to talk about the Langen Plan and just give everybody some updates on where we are and what we can expect. There's also some news on dredging the lake at Langen Park. So it is at 1:30 at Langen Park. Just come in the main entrance and we will be by the picnic pavilions. They, the ones nearest Ziegler are already fenced off. So that's where we'll be and everyone is invited to come. On Saturday, there will be another District 7 COVID vaccination event. This one will be at St. John's United Methodist Church. It is at 6215 Overlook Road. This is again partnering with USA Medical, the city, and of course St. John's. The vaccines will be for anyone 16 years of age and up. And people have asked, they are Pfizer. It's the Pfizer vaccine. So come on out, get there early. Hopefully the weather will coordinate and be okay, and we don't have to worry about it, but it is from 8 o'clock in the morning until noon. So again, that's at St. John United Methodist Church on Overlook Road. And lastly, just want to congratulate the leadership and all of the members of St. Ignatius Church. On Sunday, they will be dedicating their new building. If you've driven up and down Spring Hill Avenue in the last probably couple of years, actually, the church has been building a brand new facility, and we will dedicate that on Sunday morning, starting at 9:30. And I really look forward to seeing everyone there. The last thing I wanted to talk about is a neighborhood cleanup that has been planned in the Carriage Woods community. They had to postpone because of inclement weather, but they have now rescheduled for May, hoping that all of those April showers will be finished and we'll be looking at some drier weather. So they have rescheduled for May 8th. So of course, anyone who wants to come out and help volunteer, you will be welcome. And I think that will do me, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Gregory. I want to salute Ray Richardson. She is a very hardworking city employee, a resident of District 2. And for several years, she has sought after a Brownfields grant for the Africatown community. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. She kept venturing. The city kept venturing, and we were able to gain this particular grant. On Thursday, we will have a community meeting via Zoom to keep the community apprised and also to make sure that we have the requisite community input and support that's needed. Serm and Al Edwards, quite capable, will be working along with Ms. Richardson and other city staff to accomplish this goal. Many, many, many hours have gone into bringing this into fruition. And I just want to recognize Ms. Ray Richardson for her stick-to-itiveness, staying at it. We finally secured the grant, and I believe Africatown's future and the cleanup in some of those areas, hopefully we'll be getting even closer due to her due diligence and to the hard work of all city staff involved. So that's Thursday afternoon. I believe I'm programmed to bring some greetings. I look forward to doing that. And we appreciate all of the hard work of all of the community groups there in the Africatown community. There's several, all of them working hard, all of them wanting the best for that very unique community. And that's what we're working toward. Any other announcements?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.